bought dehydrated sourdough starter and have no idea what to do with it and how to get it into some beautiful active starter? Let me show you how in just 7 days. By the way, I'm MJ, founder of loadedpotato.org, your refrigerator eliminator. I help you hack your kitchen with quick, easy, budget-friendly meals using only shelf-stable ingredients straight from your pantry. This is my no-waste starter using dehydrated flakes recipe. All you're gonna need is a tall, wide-mouth container, flour, and water. So you're gonna start with your wide-mouth container. I like to just start in one container so I can keep it all in one. And then you're gonna get 5 grams, which is about a half a tablespoon of your dehydrated flakes. So I measure it out here. This is 5 grams. We're gonna stick it in. Next, we're gonna add 10 grams of water. And we're gonna break that all up. Don't add your flour yet. Now we're just gonna let this sit for a sec, and we're gonna let the dehydrated starter absorb all the water, and then we'll add our flour here in a minute. Okay, it actually took about an hour for the water to be absorbed by all of the dehydrated flakes. So once you got it looking like this, you're just gonna add about 2 grams of flour, which is about half a teaspoon of flour. And then you're gonna mix all that in together. It should look like a paste, kind of like peanut butter. And we're just gonna let this sit for 24 hours. Cheesecloth or a ventilated cap on it, make sure it can breathe, and just set it somewhere warm for 24 hours and we'll come back and check on it. Day 2 of making starter from dehydrated starter. So it should have little baby bubbles in it. I don't know if you can see that. And all we're gonna do today is give it a good stir. Make sure everything is activating properly. All the bubbles should be gone. Put your lid back on. Make sure it's ventilated and stick it back for another 24 hours. We are on day 3 of making our sourdough starter from a dehydrated starter. So we've got just a couple bubbles. It's chugging along. Just make sure there's no mold or anything. Just got a couple bubbles. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna feed it for the first time. We've got about a teaspoon of starter in here. So we're gonna feed it equal parts. We're gonna feed it 1 teaspoon of water. Mix that together. And 1 teaspoon of flour. Mix it all together. So it should look something kind of like this, like a really liquidy, creamy peanut butter. Make sure you've got all the clumps mixed together. And now we're just gonna set it aside, put your lid on it, make sure it's ventilated, and set it in a warm place in your house for another 24 hours, and we'll come check on it. Day 4 of starting a starter from dehydrated starter. So you should have a thin layer of hooch, I don't know if you can see it, and some bubbles developing, and it should have a very distinct sourdough smell. So we're just gonna stir this around, and yesterday we added 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, so that's 3 teaspoons, and you always wanna feed it equal. We have 3 teaspoons in here of starter, so 3 teaspoons equal a tablespoon, so we're gonna add a tablespoon of water. Stir that all around, and then a tablespoon of flour. And mix it all together. Buttery peanut butter consistency to it. And it should have some nice bubbles going. So we're just gonna set this aside probably for 1 more day, but we will be keeping an eye on that. So we're just gonna cover it again. Make sure it's ventilated and set it aside for 24 hours. Then we'll check on it again tomorrow for day 5. Day 5 of making our sourdough starter from dehydrated flakes, and it is smelling really strong. As I kept an eye on it yesterday, it did actually double, even though it's about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch. It got a 1/4 inch bigger, so I think we're almost ready. So a cheat I like to do is, let's see, well first I'll show you. It is nice and bubbly, and it smells so strong of sourdough. It smells so good. So instead of dumping the starter into a measuring cup and trying to measure what that is, I have a little cheat. So I take a container, it's exactly the same, and I put it on my kitchen scale, and I measure it out and I zero it. So if I were to take this off, it says negative 96 grams. So this cup weighs 96 grams and now we're at 0. So when I put this cup on it, we were at 30 grams of starter that we have in here. So that means we're gonna add 30 grams of water and 30 grams of flour to feed this. Our starter, we're gonna zero it out again, and then we're gonna add water until we hit 30 grams. And there we go. And that's about, I'd say probably about 1/8 of a cup. We're gonna stir it all together. Make sure the liquid gets all into the starter. That makes it easier once we add the flour. Okay, now we're gonna zero it out again, and we're gonna add 30 grams of flour. So just add slowly. $20, 22, 4, and then we're at 30 grams. Now we're just gonna mix all this together. So it's 1/8 cup plus 1/8 cup plus 1/8 cup. So that's 3/8, or just 8 cups shy of a half. We're just gonna mix it all together. So our total weight of this starter should be 90 grams. So there we are. Now, we're sitting here, looks like this, looks like it did before. We're gonna put a rubber band on it to mark it, and we're gonna keep a really close eye on it in the next 4 hours. So if you see that this has doubled up to here in 4 hours, then your starter is ready to go. So we're just gonna put our lid on it, keep it ventilated, and stick it in our warm area, and come back and check on it every so often and see if it doubles in 4 hours. We are on day 6 of making our sourdough starter from Dehydrated starter. It had a small rise last night, maybe about half of a full double. So it's still not quite ready yet. So we are going to, it's nice and bubbly. It smells very sourdoughy. We're just gonna give it a good stir, and we're just gonna have to feed it again, see what happens. So we're gonna take our starter, make sure we've got our measurements right. Take a quarter. It's just a hair more than a quarter. So we're gonna put our 1/4 cup of starter back in, and a 1/4 cup of water. Mix it all together, and 1/4 cup flour. Mix that all together. Once you got it all mixed, we're gonna move our rubber band up to our new level. We've got about double in here that we did before. Move your rubber band up to the top of your line there, so make sure we can monitor its growing size. We're gonna put our lid back on it, make sure it can breathe, and we will come and check back tomorrow. We're on day 7 of making our sourdough starter from Dehydrated starter. It had a small rise again yesterday, but not a full double. So we're gonna feed it again and hope for the best. So we're gonna take just a 1/4 cup of our starter, stir it all together, set aside a 1/4 cup, and dump everything else out in the garbage. We're gonna have our 1/4 cup starter, 1/4 cup water, stir it all together real good, and then our 1/4 cup flour. Together. Once you got it all mixed, your rubber band should stay in the same spot. So we're just gonna lid, make sure it's ventilated, and we're gonna keep an eye on it, check back in at 4 hours and see if it's doubled. Mine's taking a hot minute, yours may be ready, but we're gonna see. So here we are on day 7 plus 4 hours, and we have finally doubled. You can see this is where we started 4 hours ago, and this is where we're at. We have more than doubled. So this dehydrated starter took 7 days to make from start to ready to go. Now I wouldn't make it with bread at this point. It's still expanded. I'd wait till it falls again at the 24-hour mark, and then it'll be ready to use. But there you have it. Easy to make starter from dehydrated starter in just 7 days. And let me know what you think about starter in the comments. And follow me for more amazing recipes, not just sourdough, using shelf-stable ingredients, and check out loadedpotato.org to see all of our recipes, meal plans, grocery lists, and recommended products to save you time, money, and reduce your dependency on the refrigerator. Cheers!